All right, we have a AM 560 morning show answer follow-up. We had this exclusively. Dan Proft got a tip from somebody, and I'm talking about Jimmy Mastny. Jimmy Mastny and his mom were on the program, and they live in Oregon, Illinois, but he wanted to go to, after being homeschooled, freshman at Marion Catholic Central, he wanted to go to that school instead of his local high school. So they found a very good family friend for him to live with to go to Marion Central Catholic High School. This is one of the top wrestlers in the country.
Oh, wow.
And we learned yesterday that this promising high school wrestler who was ruled ineligible because the woman he was living with was the coach's mom.
Oh.
But they have ruled now that he gets to compete. It's a big deal. And his coach is reinstated as well because he had to be sidelined as well. So the IHSA finally did something right.
Yeah.
Kudos to them. They shouldn't have penalized him in the first place, but Jimmy Mastny can now compete on the wrestling team at Marion Central Catholic High School. So kudos to him. Were you listening that day that we had them on?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
I was not listening.
Like I didn't stop radio shaming me.
Really? I mean, dang.
All right. Well, guess what? Next week, less than a week, it's going to be 2024. Ooh. And you know what that means? New rules. New laws go into effect. There are 64 plus that are hitting the books in 2024. And joining us to break it all down with us is Illinois State Rep for the 52nd District, Martin McLaughlin. Good morning. Marty, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning, Amy and John. How are you?
Good morning, buddy.
Good. And by the way, you can follow him on Twitter or X at Marty for Illinois. Not the number 4, but FOR. So, all right, Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes.
What is the most pressing issue when you look at the new laws hitting the books in 2024?
Well, I kind of break it down, Amy, to the good, bad, and the ugly.
All right, let's start. Let's start with the good.
The good. Okay. So we actually passed legislation that the media didn't care anything about, where we, unlike people like yourselves that actually point the truth out, we passed a design build bill that will actually lower taxes for every county in the state, where they're cutting out an unnecessary step. So it saves money for the taxpayer. And that's something that I was able to get through last year, and this idea is starting to catch on, and we passed another bill this year. So if you can cut out a step for the cost for expensive projects at counties, it'll save everybody a few bucks. So that was actually good. And then the other that we passed was an Access to Affordable Insulin Act, which requires insulin manufacturers to make their products available to insured individuals, between $35 for a 30-day supply. So those I thought were, government, and I'm a free market guy, but those both to me were helpful to the pocket of consumers and taxpayers.
Well,
so
on the first issue, how much money are we saving each taxpayer?
Well, for every county in the state, on every project that was $25 million and under, it would be significant savings. So every time your county decides they're going to put in a sidewalk or a building, you would be saving significant amounts of money on every one of those projects. And as you know, the counties have, $100 million budgets. So it would have significant savings over time for the taxpayers.
We have 102 counties in Illinois, too. So, all right, what is the bad?
My favorite, genderless bathrooms. I'm still trying to figure this one out. As a father of 5 daughters, I down in the floor of the house, we both have a woman and men's bathroom. And after this one passed, I knew that many of my colleagues were thinking, well, let's just give everybody a taste of their medicine and cross to the other side. The genderless bathrooms, but of course that won't happen on the floor of the house because we pass laws for others and not for ourselves.
Exactly.
Oh, I see.
That one is kind of annoying. And then,
well, wait. As a father of 5 girls, how do you protect them, or what do you tell them?
Well, I taught them all to be tough and to turn them into athletes like you, Amy. So they were all pretty much ready to pounce on anybody from the age of about 10 athletically. So they're older women. And I just had my first grandson, so I'm not
okay.
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen for them. But that one was just unbelievable, and it still confuses parents on what their obligation is. I used to send my girls in, to the restroom with their mom. I can't imagine 6'5" man walking in with a purse. at that time, I would have lost my mind.
Well, I remember my first time sharing a bathroom with a dude, and I was like, "Is this for real?"
You're not coming in there.
I just didn't. I didn't feel comfortable.
Mm-mm. I'm standing at the door. You try to come in and move me out of the
Well,
way.
you've got young girls.
5.
Well, what do
just
you
like Mark.
do?
I will stand right at the restroom, and if a man tries to come in there, I'm going to stand there. He crosses me. I'm going to put him down. He touches me. No, you're not going into a restroom with my baby girls, especially although I can't. This is going to cause a lot of chaos. You're going to hear about a lot of fighting and batteries being committed. This is the stupidity of our state legislative bodies.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt, John. You were down there.
Yeah.
You know, I like to say many of the people serving spell Mensa with a Z. I mean, these are not the brightest individuals, and every bad idea that comes from California and New York, we repackage it, rewrite it, and then we put it into place in Illinois. The one that kills me is the defunding of local libraries, book banning, and you know, I'm amazed that my kids are safer going to an AMC movie theater these days than they are going to their local school library.
Well, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Amy, you've got ratings, right? PG-13, NC-17.
Yeah.
You don't have that when you send a fourth grader in to look at these age-inappropriate cartoons, which still absolutely are, to me, the fact that the left and the progressives are defending this.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time with that one.
All right, you got to step up your game. You need more one-liners, man. Come on, you're slacking.
Well, all right, and then the worst one of all, guys.
Are we in the ugly section, or are we still in the bad section?
We're still in the bad section.
Okay.
The ugly one for me is when Jay Ebenezer Scrooge and the Democrats have decided to defund the Invest in Kids. I mean, think about a kid that's got less than 3 or 4 days in school, and then they're not coming back to their school because we've decided that Tiny Tim and 8,000 of his friends of underprivileged kids no longer are allowed to have an opportunity to succeed in school. Instead, we're going to mandate they go to underperforming schools that, these poor kids want to actually have reading and math scores above the 50th percentile, and their only chance is to go to better schools. So, Scrooge and the Democrats are really putting a lump of coal in the stockings of these parents and these kids. Well, carbon credits, because I think we've eliminated coal.
Yeah.
Right. Coal's no longer carbon credits stockings. So,
and Representative, I actually had to read the bill to get an understanding of it. Now, you heard a lot of people. I've had you on my show. We talked about this. Police officers, non-citizens becoming police officers. Now, as I read the bill, they're not talking about people who are crossing the border today can now become police officers. They're talking about kids. If I have this correct, DACA basically, people that were brought here illegally but were born here. No, people that were either born here. Brought here illegally as kids. Are those the people that can become police officers? Bring some clarity to that.
Yeah, so this one's more nuanced than anybody cares to talk about. Yeah. And we have 2 police officers that serve on the Republican side that both, Representative Tipsord and Representative Cabello, that both supported this bill for the reason that we're undermanned and we're not having enough people want to become police officers. But your reading is correct. It wasn't for people swimming across the Rio Grande and next week going and applying and becoming police officers. It was for those that had been here for many years that were brought here, and it was a way for them to expedite potential citizenship on par with what occurs in the military. So from that side of it, people say, absolutely not. I don't want anybody doing that. I completely understand that. But at the same time, when I was mayor, we had 1 woman apply in 4 years to be a police officer, and we needed a lot more applicants. So,
Chicago suffers from that.
Oh yeah, I would rather have. Think about this: if somebody's been here for 10 years and they're 25, would you rather have them trained by our men in blue and women in blue, or have them trained, working at a Target or a Walmart? Yeah. Which do you think would come out with a better patriotic citizen at the end? But
any gun bans taking effect?
Oh boy.
Well, you've got all those court challenges as it relates to the gun ban, and I guess we're supposed to all register our weapons and turn them in January 1st. And when I say that, I don't say that jokingly. Anything that is on that list is supposed to be brought forward January 1st. But I do know that, and you guys know this, there are so many counties and so many sheriff's departments that aren't going to.
So will they force the state police to come out which I don't think they have the manpower to do such.
No, they don't. And what's interesting is, you guys know, the sheriff's associations and throughout the state have said that they don't believe that the law is constitutional, so they won't be enforcing. So this just creates a lot of, when you guys say chaos, right? Everybody says there's going to be chaos. The Democrats are causing incredible chaos in this state intentionally and then blaming it on the other side.
Yeah. And it's sad. I'm sorry. Go on.
I'm still having trouble with the JB and BJ lack of history understanding of Republicans, and that one's still driving me a little crazy.
And it's so sad that the Supreme Court declined to take up the Illinois assault weapons ban.
Yeah.
And Amy Coney Barrett, she could have stepped up, and she didn't. So I don't.
It was the argument. It looks like the argument that they made.
I'm still convinced that that JB is going to take a run for president here. So I think he's trying to fill out his dance card of progressive bona fides, so he can go out and tell everybody that he's the next guy. I mean, Gavin Mooseman, as I call him, John, I call him Gavin Mooseman because that hair is something else. I got to tell you. I mean, I'd love to see a Mooseman and JB going at each other.
Oh, I'd love to see a debate on that. And somebody called me and said, you should make up with Governor Pritzker because he's going to be president someday. No, he's not. I just don't believe. What? But I think that's why we're having the Democratic convention here, and I'd love to FOIA information to find out how much he paid, because I'm sure he paid out of his own pocket to get that here to highlight who other but himself.
Right. Well, the one thing that I did bring up and got some press coverage a month ago was the $211,000 maids and housekeepers that are taking care of the illegals in Chicago. Mm-hmm. NBC actually did a reporting for once, and they found FOIAs that showed $211,000 and $312,000 for security guards. So these contracts and these great ideas that my friends on the other side of the aisle bring forward, they feel good about it, but they never track where the dollar goes and where it's spent. I want to know who owns those businesses.
Exactly.
I want to know whose brother-in-law is the one that's actually making all the money here.
Yeah. Hey, Rep, I got two quick things. First of all, how did you get anything tax relief out of the General Assembly? That's shocking to me. And shout out to the Italians who finally got their
Italian-American Heritage Month.
I'm shocked. That passed out too as well.
Well, listen. If you know Anthony DeLuca, and
that's my guy.
Anthony did a nice job as a former mayor. I tell you, if we could get all mayors down there, John, you have to actually get things done. As you know, you can't just posture. So Anthony did a really nice job.
Well, you mean Anthony John DeLuca? That's his name. You know that, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. He throws a nice spread on his dime, so I think that might have had something to do with it. But no, he did a really nice job, and his arguments were correct. I mean, I thought that 98% of indigenous people were killed by smallpox, but my 17-year-old tells me it was Christopher Columbus.
That's true.
Went TP to TP and got them all. The lack of education that these kids are getting in public schools is shocking to me.
Well, let's hope you guys get another Italian down there, and Dennis Rebelletti, who's running, I think, in the 45th. I hope you guys help him get back there.
Well, you know what? We need people that know how to get stuff done and can actually count. And anybody that can add, I'm all for.
That's Dennis.
A lot of people that can't add down there.
All right. State Rep Marty McLaughlin, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
He's
Thank
fun,
you.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas.
You do great radio. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer.
I want Christmas. Just give me plain baby Jesus lying in a manger Christmas.
On AM 560, The Answer.
The Illinois Family Institute believes in the good people of Illinois. We're their voice in Springfield, and we keep them informed